Yup. Got some new news about layoffs. This time from EA, which did just lay off people at Velgard team, which is owned by EA. But a new EA cancels Black Panther in game, closes cliffhangers games. This is the third round of layoffs this year from EA. I've already read this, or proofread it, I'll say. I didn't read every single word, but I did get the gist of it. I'm not surprised. Roughly 300 people were laid off last month. Um, I'm not surprised. I don't know what this Black Panther game is. It's not that 1984 game. I'm pretty sure it's a game that was rumored, or not rumored, but obviously it's not rumored, but hasn't been announced yet to be official. But I'm not surprised that this happened. I mean, we just had Veilguard come out. Usually, if how do I pronounce this? I don't think just because one team was bad under EA that other ones wasn't going to be. If I had to assume why a Black Panther in game was canceled, um, it would have to be. I don't think they can handle a Black Panther in game pretty well. People in the game industry, I don't think they could handle a Black Panther in game pretty well. We're just making a solid Black Panther in game, but um, like I think you could have a Black Panther in game and just do it like Batman. You know, you could have Killmonger try to attack the world. Just do what the movie did. To be honestly, just do what the movie did. Have you some side quests where you take some vibranium, you fight other villains like Namor, maybe as a second act villain. You could fight. Who else would you fight? I don't know that many Black Panther and villains, but you know, it's, I feel like when it comes to a Black Panther game, it shouldn't be that hard to do. But any task is hard when you put dumb people in charge. Now that being said, let me actually read what happened. In an email sent to the staff from EA Entertainment, President Lauren Melly, I don't know how to say this, but Melly said that these changes, alongside other recent cancellations and layoffs, are being done to sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities. This sounds like it means like they don't want to risk losing any more money, basically. They only want to do guarantees, which I don't know much about EA in terms of what games they own. The only thing I would think of is like Madden. They just have Veilguard to be a flop. This game's getting canceled. EA does own Dead Space, I think. Uh, let me actually look it up. If Dead Space is owned by EA, I think Dead Space and EA do work together, or EA does own the rights to Dead Space. Let me make sure. Yes, EA did publish Dead Space. It's weird because like this is what I mean when you see a lot of layoffs in the game industry, which is not a bad sign. It's honestly a good sign. Um, the game industry is not going anywhere at all. In terms of its success, a lot of people say like game. I've heard people say like gaming's too big. That's why it's failing. No, gaming's not too big. That's not why it's failing. Every product that's successful grows unlimitedly. Yes, they do scale and grow less, but like every company, Pepsi, basketball, shoes, started out very small. Apple, and then they get to millions of people, but they don't crash because they get too big. It's the people in charge. In business, you can only do two things: you make the product people want, or you don't have a job. And that's what EA has done with Veilguard. They did the same thing with Dead Space. Dead Space, what was it? I think it was Dead Space 4. Was I might be mistaken, but it was a new Dead Space IP, whether that's a remake or a sequel. Dead Space, a new Dead Space IP was shot at EA, and they shot it down. Like they shot a new Dead Space down, which is guaranteed money. The problem with the industry right now, or shall I say AAA games, because you see indie games do successful all the time, is they don't understand that just because you take 5 years to work on a game, you put double digit, sometimes triple digit millions behind a project. Doesn't mean people owe you $70. In the future, $80. It doesn't mean people owe you that. And you see that with like indie games like Expedition 33, which a team from like 30 to 50 people made a game for $50, and it's more successful than a game like Assassin's Creed. And it's more successful than a game like Avowed, South of Midnight, Redfall, Concord. It's more successful than Suicide Squad and so many games, Star Wars Outlaws. So many games you can name that 30 to 50 people or 30 to 100 people made. And it's one of the best rated games of all time. It's one of my favorite games of all time. One of the best games I've ever played. And it's $50. And that has made more money than this cancellation game that probably costs more than a game that's this game that got canceled probably costs more than Expedition 33. You see Warner Bros. They just canceled Wonder Woman. Worked on the game for years and years and years, put money behind it, and they canceled it. You see another game like Marathon from Bungie, where it's like Marathon will have layoffs, to be completely honest. Marathon will 100% have layoffs in the future. The game is going to crash and burn. Whether or not you like it or not, they confess to still an art. And I feel like a lot of people, normal people, just don't want to buy the game or play the game simply out of that. Um, it's just something that a lot of people won't support. It doesn't matter if it was one person, which that's what they told us. It doesn't matter if it was 40 people. The truth is, it was Bungie. But I had a video a long time ago saying I didn't like Bungie the way that I didn't like Marathon. When they released the trailer, first day I said this game looks terrible, and I still stand on that. But this is good for EA to lay off people, because you should lay off people that are losing you money, because the game industry is good when it's making money. Like a lot of people say, like companies are greedy. The thing is, the customers choose what they buy. So in order for a company to be greedy, they have to make something you'll buy. So if you'll buy it, that means you want it. And if you want it, that means they created something good. Now, that does mean, like, you got your whales who buy every microtransaction in a bad game, or, buy $20 skins in a game that's already full price, which is terrible. Diablo 4. There is things like that, but if I want Capcom to be greedy, I want them to sell me a game that's good. I want them to want to make millions of dollars on a product. And it's just that simple. Another round of layoffs, and not even just layoffs. They closed the game. They closed the company down. They shut it down. They said they did the same thing with Veilguard. I just kind of feel like a lot of these people are at EA are like the higher ups. I don't really blame. It's people below the higher ups that it's probably their fault. Because I'm pretty sure there's people at EA who don't care what games they're making. They're throwing millions at a game. Like, okay, make the game and then bring me back, Here go 1 million, bring me back 2, type of thing. Or here go 500,000, bring me back 800,000, and then you make 300,000. Things like that, and there's a lot of people like that in every business who don't care what you're doing. Just make sure you're making money. And the problem, and once you're not making money, that's when they start getting mad because now you're just burning money, and the industry loves to burn money. But hey, that's just me reporting. But yeah, much deserved. But peace. I'll send you a video and goodbye.